we are closed beyond March 31st. And we just all need to start prepping because the CDC has already said 8 weeks. I think we need to, just be ready.
Hey guys, as a little side, I know some of you are looking for some Zoom guidance, and I spoke with Jamie Danner. We're going to iron out a time that she can do it. She volunteered for it, and she's going to give people specifically some training on Zoom in a live session at some point, probably tomorrow, which is Friday. So I'll hook up with Stephanie to get that information out to you when I talk to Jamie a little more.
Zoom also put out webinars and stuff that you can sign up through the Zoom website as well that you can sign up for. So that's an option.
Thank you.
And we also have another question. Kristen, I saw on your slideshows that the specials teachers had Google Classrooms. We were wondering if that's also K1 or if it's just Olivet.
I think it's only, this is Christine. I think it's only for 3rd and 4th because 2nd grade doesn't even have one-to-one Chromebooks, so they didn't have Google Classrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can jump into, I think Reen had posted on, I think it was in my classroom, she had mentioned, or it was somewhere that I saw, there's too many things that I'm keeping track of, that yeah, like Christine said, she only had a 3rd and 4th, but she's trying to get one for K1 and 2 as well. Since everybody is moving that way, I think she was going to work on it, but I also shared with her the Seesaw platform too, so she might take that route too. I don't know if she's on here. I don't want to speak for her, but that was the last that I spoke to her.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Special area teachers.
Irene's here, I think. She's trying to talk.
Reen.
Yeah, this is Reen. We were told just 2 to 4, but I did reach out to, like Gina said, to Dan, because I was interested. Of course, this is all new to me, not just because I'm old, but because I'm a physics teacher. But I'm liking the Dojo and the Google Classroom. So I'd like to get on, and the kids are responding to me, and it's been great. I'd love to hear from the kindergartners and the 1st graders as well.
We just had a good question about what we're doing for Spanish-speaking elementary students, so if someone could jump in on that one.
Dan, can you repeat that? Sorry.
In the comment thread, someone asked Jennifer Padell, I'm wondering what we're doing for our Spanish-speaking elementary students.
Mrs. Moskalo has something for 2, 3, and 4. She has, I think she's asked to join, if I'm not mistaken.
I think she's talking about what are we doing for the Spanish-speaking for the
BSL population.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hey Jane.
This is Jane Conroy. Can you see? You can hear me though?
Yes.
Okay, but you can't see me because my camera's not set up. I just realized. I am reaching out to the parents, and I have set up a Google Classroom as well, as per the direction today. And I am okay to call home. Now, I know I did speak to the brother of your student, Ms. Podell, and they said that they're all fine and they are getting the work done.
That is a huge relief to hear.
So that I'm kind of using my older siblings to communicate right now. So I can take that off to the side. We can discuss this later too.
That sounds great, Jane. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Also in the webinar, hi everyone, for Seesaw, there was an app. There's 2 apps. There's one for the parents and one for the actual classroom and the instruction, and it has a translator built into the parent app, so you can automatically translate in native languages. So I thought that was interesting through Seesaw.
Julie, I see your question. I'm going to look into that. I was just trying to search that feature, if I could turn it off, about turning off chat in the Google Meet. So I'll try to get back to you on that one. I got that marked down.
Can I just ask Stephanie a question. I know it is now requested of us to have a Google Classroom, but I know my first graders have been successful. Their parents have been successful with Class Dojo. And my fear is there is no way that I'm going to get them up and running on Google Classroom also without doing some kind of a tutorial in their language with a transcriber, or you know what I'm trying to say?
I'm going to interject there and go back to what Dan had just said. I think the K1 and 2, I think, are still unsure, but at least they are not utilizing Google Classroom at all. We're only going to utilize a K1, the Seesaw. And going back to what Dan said, there is that translate option in there. So for your K1 students, Jane, I wouldn't worry about Google Classroom at all.
Well, I didn't even put them on there, but again, I'm worried about having them sign up with Seesaw. Whether they can translate it or not, I don't think they have the technology for it. They are right now, I say that as long as I'm communicating with them through Class JoJo and they're doing everything, or I'm talking to them, or Mrs. Bowser, who is their teacher, switching up their platforms really gonna, I'm afraid I'm just gonna lose them. That's what I'm basically saying.
So I think, sorry, I keep jumping in, but I see what you're saying. So I think, though, in terms of the dojo, I think we were talking about that. The dojo, it sounds like you're just using purely for communication. The Seesaw is going to be where work and assignments are going to be housed, versus dojo can be your communication. I think we can still communicate with the dojo, but whereas older students are using the classroom to push out assignments, K and 1 are going to use the Seesaw to push out assignments. So that's where all future assignments are going to come from, is from the Seesaw app versus the Google Classroom. So either way, you're going to have to transition to some type of platform to push out assignments. And at the K-1 level, it's going to be Seesaw. So if your parents can do Class Dojo, they have the capability of that. They have the capability of doing Seesaw.
Are you saying that because we can put the Seesaw assignments on Dojo pushouts?
That part, I don't know. I don't know if we were ironed that out, Dan, but no, I think we were going to use the Seesaw purely to push out the assignments. So once parents sign up for the Seesaw, that's how they'll be connected, and that's how they'll get their communication, and that's how they'll see the assignments. If you, I think this is a personal thing. If you still want to use a dojo, if that's where your parents are cool, keep doing it. But Seesaw is going to, I think, become the main means of communication and assignments.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing is, I don't know, I found another, if you go to Google, I just researched it and sent a link to the Elmer staff, but now we're going to be doing Seesaw, but it's called, you probably all know this anyway, it's called Google for Education, and it has all the tutorials on there. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's another possibility. You can look there, and I don't know if that translates things into Spanish, but that's another option.
So I'm in agreement with everything that has been said. I think what we have to, I know that Class Dojo and things like Remind, they are great for that communication. And I think, Jane, you should continue to not change that piece, because the parents are used to that communication. But after all of those packets are done and we have not seen these kids, we need the platform to be able to push out the assignments. And I do think that Seesaw is, in again, watching that myself this afternoon, is much more friendly to that lower level. And even as a parent, actually, watching that and how to submit work, and myself trying to keep up with Google Classroom for my son, that seems a lot easier to follow, quite frankly, Seesaw for the lower grades rather than Google Classroom. So I do think, though, they may need assistance. So we might, Jane, and Robert and myself, we might need to think about who can help translate those directions and get those parents set up, especially if they need that translator, but maybe we can find someone that will be able to assist with that, just to get them set up. That way the kids have access to whatever the first grade teachers or kindergarten are going to assign.
So, Ron, I saw the question you just asked. I would assume it would be okay that the ICR teachers can just continue being a co-teacher in the Google Classroom that the other teachers has already created. I don't see a need for you to create a whole nother Google Classroom when the teacher has already done that for you. So maybe.
Yeah, Kelly Bertino and I, we share one. We're in ICR, and it's just easier that way, Ron, because you can just see everything. We both are teacher set on it, so I can post things, she can post things. But two, I think, would be too complicated.
And
I did that with all my ICR teachers too, and I don't think that the special ed teachers in the ICR setting should be trying to set up a new one. I agree with the confusion.
I figured that. I just wanted to ask. That's all.
Okay. And
Yep,
maybe,
you guys are correct. I'm not asking you guys to create another Google Classroom.
and Stephanie, maybe this is something you admin could discuss on the side. I'm seeing real quick. There's a huge difference between building needs, and to have everybody from every building in here. It might be better to run different sessions where groups are from the same schools and together, because it seems like the elementary schools and they could hash out their problems easier together. Middle school.
If I can jump in for part of that too, though, as an elementary teacher, I am enjoying doing your things too, because I'm learning a whole lot, and so I enjoy doing both. But I 100% agree with you too, Dan. I think we need two different formats. I think we're trying to do we have a couple different agendas in mind for this Zoom, but it needs to, I would like to, hopefully you can continue to do this and continue it to be a technology platform. But I think you're right. We need to split it up and do building level concerns too.
And I'm going to share in that document that has all the teacher meetings that I've been putting links into. I also put my old, the technology coach website, because I do have a lot of stuff on there about Google Classroom and links to Google where you can get some quick seminars on how to do some things. I've been trying to help people as they email during the day, but sometimes with me getting in with my classes too, it's hard to get to everybody. So I definitely, just like we tell the kids all the time, reinforce to everybody, like, Google it first on YouTube or YouTube it. And usually, like, Google's made a great video that'll show you how to do a lot of the things.
I have a question for Stephanie and maybe some of the other administrators. Since there are concerns about the seesaw and pushing that out to the families, has anybody thought about doing a Zoom tutorial meeting for the parents where they can sign on and somebody take the screen?
Yeah.
And
we had talked about that when we talked about the format. Yeah, and I volunteered that either I can do like a screencastify thing to show them how to log in, or going back to the things that Yvette had shared, doing something like that so that they can see, or a live Zoom to help them get on. We had talked about that.
All right,
Yeah, you're going to need a one-pager or something just to give parents an idea of how to do that. That definitely needs to come out to the parents.
So, guys, we have 2 minutes left in this meeting. We've been doing it every day. I think it would be great if someone could jump in and share a positive experience they had with some kids today on their live sessions. I think that's been doing us all a lot of good, sharing their stories every day. So we could have a volunteer hop in. I'd appreciate it.
Go. I'll tell you, Jamie Danner is doing a phenomenal job with our 8th grade ICR classroom. She is doing a Zoom meet, and we've had like between 15 to 20 kids on there every day. We're holding up. Math Pack is doing our notes and stuff, just like we do in the classroom, and it's been going phenomenal. And like I said, she's doing a great job with that. So anybody that wants to get her Zoom training, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, and I spoke with Jamie. I misspoke. I'm sorry. It's probably going to be Monday when she can do that meeting. But anybody that has a like camera viewer, it's funny. We thought they were outdated. They're coming back in, like one of those cameras where you can shoot it up onto the board what you're drawing on. That'll be definitely some use if you can. If you're still allowed to go in the building to get something, to bring that home, because you can do that live on a Zoom. They're doing that. So if you're interested in something like that, Jamie's definitely going to be the person to go to when she has that session to show you how to do that. Can we get one more story before we log off? All right. Well, if no one wants to share, thanks for coming in today, guys. I'm going to stop recording this, and I'll probably have it up by like 7 a.m. tomorrow. So if you wanted to go back and look at stuff just to get